it's Joe, and I'm here to introduce Dave from the One Man's Life Mission YouTube channel. Dave has over 2 decades of experience in practicing game, and his YouTube channel is fantastic. We're actually going to jump into a clip of an interview that Dave did with a man called Enis Izzet on a topic which I think is really important: 24/7 game. Now, I would predict that most guys, when they're getting into this hobby of learning to get better with women, most of them, I would imagine, want to get to the stage where they can just see a beautiful woman walking down the street or anywhere at any time and have the faculties to just be able to approach her, win her over, and have her just absolutely loving him, alright? No matter where they are. But most guys don't ever get to that stage. Anyway, we're going to jump into the conversation between Dave and Enis to see what they have to say about this, how they have adopted 24/7 game into their life, and how you can do the same.
What being 24/7 on for me means is not necessarily having night game, or not necessarily having day game or mall game or doing game at the gym. People should not, and we should not, put game in separate rooms or in separate parts of our lives. Game should be a part of our daily life. There is no gym game, there is no night game, there is just game. And having this mentality of being 24/7 on enables you to have game everywhere and do game everywhere and practice it everywhere. So when I first started game, I had the same mentality, of, oh, I'm gonna go do night game, or oh, I'm gonna go do day game, or I'm gonna do like gym game. But then as I start to learn more and grow more and be more, I switched to the mentality of, or I was taught of the mentality of, it's never off. It's always on. Like, you should always be on, because guys, they start this off in a way, and why they have this like day game, night game, because they don't view themselves as that person yet. Game for them is something they switch on and they go back to their old selves.
Or it could be marketing. It could be a marketing. When the guys, they say, look, oh, here's my day game product, or here's my night game product, or here's my cafe product. You can only approach girls in a cafe, and this is my strategy for a cafe. I've actually seen guys. I've seen guys that go out and do day game, and as soon as the girl enters the shop, they just stop at the front door. It's
my God.
Invisible wall. And these are coaches. These are coaches, So yeah, and also actually one thing I saw tonight was Tom Torero met up with Mystery, right? And these are two guys. One focuses on night game, the other one focuses on day game. And he was saying how he went out into the clubs and he felt he felt uncomfortable because it was Mystery's domain, and during the daytime he felt more comfortable. This is what Tom Torero was saying, and I was like, what the hell? It's like there's still girls, you should be able to game everywhere, right? No matter what. I think it's relevant.
So it is relevant, because like, you coming from the space of, oh, there's night game, oh, there's day game, or there's like this game, is you're actually thinking that game is something you do. This is like coming from the old model of reality. Like, game is something I do. Like, it's not part of me. I switch it on, I use this game, because where like guys are coming from the start is, they're coming from a place of insecurity, they're coming from a place of lack, so they try to do this game, to game these girls, and that's why they do night game and day game, but switching from night game and day game and cafe game and all of these different games actually game never stops. Game is 24/7 on. It enables you to actually accept that it never stops, and that actually it's part of your life, and it's you. Because
Mm.
what you said happens when you do day game and night game. When you enter a venue that you haven't been before, or a situation that you haven't encountered before, you get paralyzed, because in your head there's night game and day game. But if you change the mindset to actually game never stops, then it doesn't matter if you're in the club or in the gym or in the coffee shop or whatever. If you have this mindset of it never stops, then you are more free to do game and game the girls, etc. So
Yeah, like sometimes I would have like newbies come out to meet me either for some day game or something like that, and I would meet them somewhere, and then I would ask them, okay, so you traveled from your home to here. Have you made any approaches in the last hour? And they're like, no, no, no. I was saving my approaches for when I met up with you.
no.
I was like, hey, hang on. Okay, let's just rewind it up. Did you drive here? No, I caught a bus or a train or something. Were the girls on the bus or the train? Did you walk to the station? Did you, um, did you eat anything out on your way? Oh, I went to a cafe and bought a coffee on my way in. Was there a girl at the cafe? It's like game is you're limiting your game time to the game time, and the rest of the week is off, and you've only got these 3 or 4 hour window of opportunity to meet girls, when every day all those opportunities are being wasted.
Yeah.
And if anything, you don't really need a concentrated part of your day for game if you're always gaming, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's definitely, it just limits your time, I feel. Yeah.
I mean, technically, doing night game and doing day game should be like a concentrated time where you're doing this one thing really efficiently and you're maximizing your time. That's why guys go for day game and night game, because they
Mm.
take 3 or 4 hours of their day or of their time to just do game, so they can get better at this. But what they don't realize it is, like you said, like you can game anytime. If you see a girl in the train, you can talk to her. You don't have to be in this game mode, or have told yourself that, okay, now I'm gonna do day game, or now I'm gonna do train game. You can
Mhm.
always game. And I have empathy for those people who still have this mentality of day game and night game, because I was the same. When I was, now I live in the UK, when I was back in Bulgaria, I had this day game and night game thing. I didn't have the mentality of, oh, I can game anytime I want, because I was, new to the game. I was young, all of these stuff. There was no one to teach me. I didn't have any mentors. The only way that I was learning, was from books and videos, etc. And I had a wingman, but he was no better than me either. So we didn't have any mentors. We didn't have anybody to tell us any differently. But as time went by, and I became better at game, and I became better as a person, and when I came to the UK, I was like, well, wait a sec. On my way to university, I'm catching the train. I am at the train stop. I am going to coffee shops. I'm going to, food shops. I'm going to the club. I'm in my classes. I have all of these places and all of these different
Yeah.
venues and opportunities to meet girls, but I'm not using them. I'm not using them. And,
Mm.
I'm missing out. I'm literally missing out. And another thing is, like, when you do only night game, or you separate these different places where you can do game, you build a confidence around it, and you build your comfort zone around it, because guys
Yeah.
get comfortable doing only day game and night game, but
Mm.
when they get in the train or get in the bus, they haven't built their confidence around gaming in every single venue, so they build only
Mm.
situational confidence rather than building core confidence.
Yeah. I
So
guess
that's the
that's a good point that you bring up there. Yeah. A lot. The you could, for you guys at home, you could actually become reliant and have a reliance on needing a wing too. To the point where you don't game unless you are with a wing. So you hit the nightclub, I guess, and you don't you don't approach or don't try to make anything happen with any girls until you meet your wing, and then when you leave your wing, you don't do anything on the way home either. That's a crutch. That's a crutch that you need to let go of. It kind of is. It's like you build this confidence, that just limits you to a certain area. That's definitely something that a lot of guys, I guess in the beginning, they need to get the experience with different areas as well, bringing them into different areas. Like, I guess at the moment with me, it doesn't really matter. As soon as I open that front door, if there's a girl out there on my way, wherever I am, I'll have a go. Try and pick up any girl, pretty much any girl. I don't care anymore.
But you probably, I don't know, I guess you probably didn't start off that way. You probably had to build yourself up until you could get to that point, right? But most guys get stuck, and that's why I guess we're doing this video. So if a guy is in this position, he can see himself doing wrong or having still having a place to improve, and then actually taking the steps necessary to improve. Because when you don't have someone as a mentor or as a teacher or like a role model, someone to look up to, especially in game, well, then you can't compare yourself with that ideal and that role model and see that you still have places to improve. Because before, when I was doing only day game or night game, there was no one to tell me, bro, listen up. There is no such thing as only day game or only night game. It's life game. Like, it's 24/7. It never ends. It's always on. There was no one to tell me that, so I wasn't able to realize it. But that's why it's so important to keep watching videos like this. But like I said, you build up to it. You're probably not born in that position, but it's good to have an ideal to work towards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess that when you allot out a certain period of time and you don't game for the rest of the week, that's only 4 hours of game, where you are limited to that specific location. You're limited to the girls at that specific time. But if you do, say, 5-10 minutes here and there during the day, every day, it adds up to more than the 4 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours at the end of the week. So it's like you end up gaming more in your lunch breaks, before and after work. Some guys do use that as an excuse. Oh, I've been working really hard. And then if I was to, I've spoken to quite a few guys that have done boot camps, and then I ask them, like, okay, so how many approaches have you done this week? Oh no, I've been really busy this week, they say. But if I break it down, I don't care how busy you are. I can find time in your day. I don't care if you're President Trump, there's still time to make a few cold approaches. There's always time, and there's no excuses. Yeah, there's no excuses.
No excuses.
And I guess that's part of the message behind this video. Yeah, is there anything else you want to add to this topic?
Yeah, definitely. So going back to what you said, like guys say that they're busy and etc. And like you said, is just excuses. And some of the excuses that guys always say as well is, well, I don't have time to go in game for hours right now, so I'm not going to game at all. That's like the wrong frame of mind to be coming from. If you have 15 or 20 minutes right now to spare, you can use that time to game or talk to a girl. For example, if you're taking a train to commute to work, well, instead of just staying on your phone or doing some bullshit activity for the next an hour or for the next hour, hour and a half, however, time you spent commuting, you can actually use that time to proactively look for girls to approach. Be proactive. Don't be freaking passive. What I have done in the past is when I was taking the train to commute to university, I was going from wagon to wagon,
Yeah.
approaching,
Yeah.
and that's time well spent.
Mm.
Like, of course, people are gonna look at you like you're a fucking nut drop approaching girls at 6 a.m. in the morning because everybody's still sleeping. But how bad do you want it? Like, do you want this shit or do you don't want it? You know, the more time you put into it, the more you're going to get out. And for you to grow more and to take the next step of game and next step of growth, people need to implement this mentality of game never stops. Game is 24/7 on. And you know, if you have that mentality as a person, it doesn't matter if you're shopping for food, it doesn't matter if you are going to the gym or whatever. You will have the freedom to be able to talk to any girl anytime.
What's up? I hope you enjoyed that clip. I agreed with everything they had to say. They had some great ideas. Here's the thing. When you see a beautiful woman and you're not warmed up, you're not mentally prepared to be speaking to pretty girls, perhaps you don't have any of your friends there to like motivate you into doing it, it's going to be uncomfortable. And just like with everything else we're learning in this journey to getting good with women, it's always going to be uncomfortable until you do it. And then you do it again and again and again, and it becomes more and more familiar and therefore less uncomfortable the more that you do it. So if it's a goal of yours to be able to speak to a woman wherever you see her, anywhere, anytime, I would purposely set yourself a goal to speak to maybe 2 beautiful women per day, like spontaneously, not in a pre-prepared time where you've like sculpted out time to speak to women. Perhaps you make yourself a goal to speak to like 3 people a day spontaneously, and then hopefully one of those 3 is like a beautiful woman. And then, just like with any habit, eventually you'll stop having to motivate yourself to do this, and it'll just be this new awesome thing that you do in your life. Okay, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the Game Global YouTube channel and subscribe to Dave's YouTube channel. The link for that is in the description. Okay, we've also got a free ebook for you called How to Meet Women Anywhere. This free ebook features step-by-step guides to successfully meeting women in bars and clubs, as well as during the daytime. My name's Joe, and I'll speak to you real soon.